Call me the Peggy Dent of the United States. It's time to talk about Donald Trump's Ls for the week. We're going fast. After 6 months of doing literally everything you could to resist releasing the Epstein files, you've been basically forced to sign a bill about releasing the Epstein files. You're gonna regret this. Okay. Jack your heels all you want, babe. We're getting the financial documents. On the same day they passed the Epstein bill, more House Republicans signed a discharge petition forcing a vote overturning a couple of your anti-union executive orders. Now Mike Johnson wants to get rid of the discharge petition, but he can't because that requires a 2/3 majority in the House and everybody hates him. A Texas judge has overturned a law requiring the schools to display the 10 Commandments, and yet another judge has blocked their new redistricting. Remember back in April when you sent that first plane load of immigrants to El Salvador and a judge was like, hey, turn that plane around, and you were like, no! He's restarted his criminal contempt investigations. No. You went on Truth Social and talked for like 6 hours about how you wanted to hang a bunch of Democratic veterans in the military, and then the White House immediately had to be like, no, he doesn't want to do that. Nope. Even Fox News' legal analyst was like, that's not a thing. You're crazy. The Border Patrol operation in Charlotte, North Carolina lasted about as long as Bill Clinton did in your ICE is staying behind because ICE was already there. Yet another judge in New York has upheld a law that you can't arrest people for immigration reasons in court. You so deeply bungled the case against the 2 people you accused of ramming ICE officers with their car that the DOJ has had to dismiss the charges entirely. That's going to be a fun lawsuit. You appointed a bunch of loyalists to make a panel about getting rid of FEMA. Instead, they came back with a report about how FEMA should be bigger and more independent of you. You tried to limit the kind of disability benefits the elderly could get on Social Security, and after the entire country was like, ew, you just walked it back. Sorry, guys. Your tariffs are going to cut the deficit by a full $1 billion with a B less than you said it was going to. Oh, were these a bad idea? Weird. Unemployment has climbed to 4.4%, and your tariffs continue to shove trade into the ground, dropped 5% in August. As Bill Pulte's mortgage fraud investigations that you're using to go after a bunch of Democrats you don't like turn out to be complete nonsense, your own DOJ is starting to be like, maybe we should look into this guy. Ooh. Another National Guard deployment bites the dust. Federal judge says the deployment to DC is illegal. That FBI agent you fired for having a pride flag on his desk is suing. You want to know why? Because the pride flag was given to him by the FBI. I could not be this dumb if you paid me. You got caught trying to declassify swastikas as hate symbols. You were immediately like, no, we're not doing that, and released a brand new manual. About 5 minutes later. Yet another Republican member of Congress is being investigated for being a sex pest, and you're delaying your semiconductor tariffs because you don't want to provoke China. You're such a weenie. Can't even strongman right. A Republican staffer has been arrested for writing Trump whore on her body and pretending like she got assaulted. Democrats have a 14-point lead on a generic congressional ballot. I'll translate that for you. That's bad for Republicans. 2 more educators who were fired for speech about Charlie Kirk have gotten their jobs back, and yet another criminal you pardoned is going back to jail. Even the liberal doomer papers are like, yeah, this is not going well for him. Whew! It's okay, babe. I'm sure if you send us to war against Venezuela, they'll actually invite you to the next funeral of some dead vice president.